Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back ICUC Youth for another video in our series where we will be talking about the fourth character trait that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us in one of his hadith. And scholars told us if we implement just these four, we've basically perfected our character. And I specifically left this one for last because, especially for me, the way I see it, this hadith is what connects all the others together. For us to understand this one well, we need to understand all the other character traits that we discussed before. So today, inshallah, I hope to explore this hadith through the others and pull out some common themes that might make you see things a little differently. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. That not any of us will truly believe until we love for our brothers or we love for other people what we love for ourselves. We saw this in the first video where we talked about respecting each other's privacy, how there are different definitions of privacy for me and you, and how we need to understand that. We also saw this when we talked about the words we use, where if I say something and to me it's insignificant, it might carry a lot of weight for you. So I have to keep that in consideration before I speak anything. And we also saw this when we talked about controlling our anger, where we said that when I'm angry, I know that I might do something that will harm you, and I wouldn't want you to do the same if you were in my position. So I need to keep that in mind when I'm in a situation of anger. And all of us are familiar with that golden rule of treat other people the way you want to be treated, which of course is a very big theme in this hadith. But I want to put that aside for a minute. Instead, I want to focus on another very important theme that you can pull out of this hadith, which is the theme of people being different. And again, this is something else we saw across all the other characteristics, where we saw that we all have the same basic needs, but how that looks to each one of us is different. So let's illustrate that through one of these different character traits that we already discussed. And we'll use the idea of respecting each other's privacy. So let's say for me, when I'm upset, I don't like anyone to know what's going on, and if you want to respect my privacy, you're not going to ask me, even if you can tell that I'm upset. And maybe for you, you're the opposite, where if you're upset, you don't consider that an invasion of your privacy when other people ask and check in on you. So if you take your mindset when you see me upset and you come and genuinely try to help me out by asking me, thinking that this is what you would want if you were in my position, that's not necessarily the best way to go about this, because that's not helping me. That's not what I want. That's not, for me, respecting my privacy. So what respecting privacy looks like to me is vastly different than what it looks like to you. So then, how are we going to love for the other person what we love for ourselves if what I love and what you love look different? I think before we answer this question, first we need to understand why we are created different. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He explains this in Surah Al-Hujurat. He says, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ وَأُنثَى وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O people, O mankind, I created you from male and female, and I made you guys into tribes and nations, لِتَعَارَفُوا, so you guys can know one another, so you guys can learn from one another, so you guys can understand and accept one another for your differences and not to put each other down because of those differences. And something that I love to make the connection between this concept and what we were just talking about is how we as people are meant to balance each other's strengths and weaknesses out. So maybe I'm good at controlling my anger, but you're not. So I can come up to you and seek help and get advice on how I can control my anger, and you will help me, with that specific character flaw that I have. And maybe you have a problem with choosing good words and only using good words, but that's not a problem for me. So you can come to me for advice in that, and I'll help you overcome that struggle. And in that sense, my strengths are your weaknesses and your weaknesses are my strengths. So we work with each other out and we build each other up instead of putting each other down. And this is how we build that great community. So if we have that mindset where I want to do good and I want to succeed and I want other people to help me to reach that success, where I have that mindset that I want to make it into Jannah, I want Allah to be pleased with me, but I don't want to go alone, I want you there with me, I want Allah to be pleased with you as much as He is with me, then that and we put that idea and we work together so we can build each other up, then that is how we can love for the other person what we love for ourselves. That is exactly how we implement this hadith, and we balance out each other's differences to work towards our advantage and look at the greater community instead of just focusing on how I can get ahead and not worrying about anyone else. So if we're able to build this mindset for ourselves, then first we have helped ourselves as people. We've developed our individual characters, but we've also created a better, stronger, more united community. And just imagine what type of lifestyle you would be living if we just change our mindset to match this, and what type of effect it will have, not just on ourselves, but on the greater community that we live in. So I ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make us people who think of others before we think of ourselves, who love for others what we love for ourselves, who are able to respect each other's privacy and speak with each other with nothing but good, who are able to control our anger, are able to perfect our character and follow in the footsteps of our beloved Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Ameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you guys so much for listening in, and inshallah I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.